Sinibingelele sinamngele kuhlelo lethu namhlanje The Big Conversations kwi-Matabeleland Broadcasting Corporation, EMBC ngamafitshane, igama Musimi Ngala. Together with me in the studio is Thulani Ngala. Our guest today is the aspiring ZAPU Secretary General, Mr Hanana, who will introduce himself in a minute. Mr Hanana, please introduce yourself.
Good evening to you, Mrs. Ngala. Thank you for the great opportunity that you are according me this evening to interact and engage with you and your audience. My name is Mthulisi Hanana. I am a young person who is active in politics, in the politics of our country. Currently, I am in exile in South Africa. I think basically that's what I can say. I've got a lot of things that I could say about myself, but I'm a young married person with 4 kids. I've been to school. At least I've got to grade 7.
Hayi kuhle kakhulu njengoba nje sicelile ukuthi uzelana, so abantu they will like to know you, so it will be best uma ungasitshela nje kancane usesemncane ukhula ungubani uvelaphi.
Yeah, mina I was born here in my land, or in the land of exile, I think exiled corner. To a Zimbabwean woman, and then after she separated with my father, and we had to go back to Zimbabwe. So I am young, and my early childhood is in Zimbabwe. Now ngakhula ke njengabanye abantwana ngahamba esikolweni, ngaqala ngifunda ePhumula eMasozi Primary School. Nga transfer ngaya eMoray Primary School. I think that was a huge turning point in my life. Ngenxa yokuthi umama uthe sehlukana nobaba, she hadn't been to school. So ubeqala phansi impilo, waqala ukuya esikolweni, but ubethe funda engumuntu osebenza emakitchen, sebenzela abelungu, sebenzela amakhiwa. So transition from Amazon to Moray. It was the time where, after the unfortunate passing on of Ukoko, my great grandmother, so was with the mama. So mama automatically means my kitchen. So I think political consciousness seeing the relationship between an employer and a worker, but more so between a white person and Lomdom. So that's when I started seeing as music that at a young age I was able to tell no, look how right, this is injustice. So because of that background, the consciousness to stand for what is right, to stand for what is just. Uzananzelela ukuthi abantu abasebenza emakitchen nxa besithi madam, umadam ngendlela abamsebenzisa ngayo akafani lendlela wena umsebenza nxa uthi madam ukhuluma lo muntu who is an equal. Umadam wabube ngani kuba lokweyisa and uexalt, ukuzeyisa wena uzehlisa, lokwe-exalta umuntu lo ngumlungu. And sonke nje at that time would be expected nxa sibona umlungu umkhiwa simhloniphe sibili ngendlela emangalisayo. And one time I remember there was a serious fight between me and Lomlung. No, but I'm not your worker. You cannot have expectations. Page one, and so seven sakwa and holy luto. We don't have a relationship besides Guti Kasho mom. So I think at that stage, that was the formative stage of my political consciousness, which is injustice. Because one of the things that I strongly believe, I believe in a just, I believe in a just environment. I believe in equality. I believe in equity. I believe in Ubuntu. So ngasuka laphayana ngafunda secondary school, high school, ngangise Founders High School. Lakho futhi, I believe that's where my political career was starting to shape. Ngenxa yokuthi vele from, as I think I was a prefect, Emas was a new grade 4. I was made a prefect in grade 4, by the way, because they felt umuntu uhlakaniphile, is intelligent, let's give him responsibilities so that we try and mold his cleverness. So Semfike Founders, ngafunda up to Form 6. I played different roles, leadership roles. One of those roles, I was the head boy actually at Founders. But politics-wise, one of the things to Sayo, when I was meant to be head boy, I was told I could not qualify to be head boy because I was heading and leading too many other things. So I offered to drop one. I dropped being the secretary or treasurer of the Scripture Union. And still I was told it's not enough, I need to drop something more, and I refused because I felt it was not sincere, because some of the people that were front runners for that post were doing too many other things. I had to find out why is there that notion of which abantu besintu cannot lead. And I discovered that all these things are coming from the distortions of our history that divides our people as ethnic groups, particular tribal groups, Amandebele Lamashona. That's how then I became a Nkomoist, because I felt this is wrong. I was doing history, by the way, so I took it to research in Jagancane using that young mind of mine. There was a man who had united Abantu. So that's how I became an avid and a staunch and a serious follower of Obabu Joshua Nkomo. So I'm a serious Nkomoist. There's no doubt about that. There's no two ways about it.
Okay, Baba Hanana, yeah, background yakho inde. Lingatholi la. All right. Asigqibela lapho manje background yakho, then siqhubekele phambili.
Yeah.
Baba Hanana, siyazi ukuthi on the 29th of October kuzoba ne Congress yeZAPU. iZAPU of late, it hasn't been doing very well. Wena usuphakamile, wathi ufisa ukuthi ube ngomunye wabaholi baleli qembu leZAPU. Kodwa ke isifiso sethu o isifiso sabantu ukuthi baqondisise ukuthi wena unolwazi olungakanani ngale party okuthiwa yiZAPU. Uma ungayibheka iZAPU isukela ngo2008 2009 kuzofika namhlanje, what is your assessment?
I think it would be unfair for you to ask me to assess the party eyafonywa ngo1961 ubusungavuna uthi ngiqale ku2008 or 9, because the context of iZAPU ekhona must not be divorced from the ZAPU of 1961, eyafonywa ngo17 December 1961. So I would want us to understand that iZAPU that emerges out of ZANU-PF ngo2008 2009 is the same ZAPU eyafonywa ngo1961. So history yankhona iyafanana, it's one party. So my assessment then is we came from the war in 1980 as a very strong and formidable party that had to be whipped into line and destroyed using a genocide. And that genocide propelled us as ZAPU to go into unity, to save lives. I mean, if Comrade Nkomo wanted to fight back, I think he had the capacity and he would have fought back. But because I've always believed that he is a man who loved people more than power, was unity, giving us a chance at that time, or at that time, to live, to grow, and to fight another day. So we are grateful to the likes of Comrade Dabengwa or Tivile Sabe and many other cadres that pulled out of ZANU-PF to revive iZAPU. So you must understand, you have a party that is reviving after a genocide. You have a party that is reviving after some of the people have been in government or in a coalition of sorts with another party. So bakhona abazasala bepholisa phela ngoba uhulumende ukhanya kumnandi, so abanye basala. So we come out as a depleted force, abanye sebafa, abanye bafela khona lesivela khona. So that is the ZAPU that we had. So the period between 2008 up to now, according to me, was critical in that we had to make sure that we divorce ourselves from ZANU-PF and we stand out as a separate entity and try to build the structures of the party. So that has been that period. And you discover what we have contested elections and we have not done so well, because when we went into unity, what we eat lezano, sespuma, so kulabo MDC, so kulabo mabambo, so kule whatnot. So now so kule zinengi, and abantu akade be support base yethu ikaZAPU, abanye sebesele kuzana, abanye sebejoyine lokhu okunye ukukhona. iZAPU yona le eka-2008 konke up to today, the performance yakhona must be understood in that context. Kumele sinanzelele ukuthi le party nxa ikhula iba lama-teething problems, and you would appreciate ukuthi khona ama-teething problems aweZAPU had to be many ngoba abanye had spent more time in ZANU PF than they spent in ZAPU. So and kulabanye asebezalwa bezojoyina abangazange bajoyina politics. So to merge all those people to form one strong and formidable party takes a lot of effort, it takes a lot of resources, it takes a lot of political education, it takes a lot of effort really. So that is the kind of ZAPU that we had. And we must also thank actually the leadership that has been at the helm of the party during that, from that time to today. Remember that ZANU Vele is a very cruel animal. Iyabulala, iyavictimize, iyachaya, yenza zonke izinto ezimbi ongazicabanga. So nxa ubona kulobukhokheli that managed to hold fort, we need to commend them for that. However, I feel we could have done some things differently, and I feel we could have done some things better. So I feel my role now coming into ZAPU, kulento ezithile that I want to assist iZAPU ngazo, to make sure that we have a strong and a modernized party. One of the critical things that ZAPU seemed not to be able to adequately do was to make sure that we leverage on our revolutionary history to paint a picture that young people can relate with. We seemed to be more fixated on war credentials, how well we did, and then we forgot maybe, or in hindsight, we did not adequately articulate what this current ZAPU seeks to do for the people now. We seem to be focused on what we did for the people then, and as a result, we found wanting in terms of responding to issues within the current context in political discourse. So this is one of the things that I feel I will be coming in to contribute, to make sure that we shape a political party that responds to the needs of the now, to shape a formidable mass movement that is able to speak and represent the people well now, and not necessarily leverage on war credentials. Yeah, so basically that's what I can say for now.
As an aspiring Secretary General, what is your personal understanding of that role?
The role of a Secretary General is an administrative role. One of the things that I'm very unpopular for and about is because I felt that the ZAPU that we have had did not do enough to build a strong movement, simply because we leverage on war credentials, particularly of our leader, our former president, Dr Dumiso Dabengwa. So even the people that joined ZAPU, they felt as long as Comrade Dabengwa were fine, we are relevant. But they did not understand that bakhona abantu that were born after the war, that really do not care about our war heroics and credentials. So we needed to build a strong movement administratively, using instruments of mass mobilization, political education, which I feel we did not do, because will always be relevant. But if you take out some of our stalwarts, like Ubabu Dabengwa and many other Zipra cadres, if we take them out, we do not have a party that is worth much. I'll give instances. You discover that we have not been able to score or win elections with significant numbers. Even the 2018 elections, we were not able to contest in some provinces. We did not field even 210 candidates for parliament. So those are signs that we were not building a party, because if we are building a party, we should be having a party with the structures, an institution that is well run, an institution that has got results. So for now, there isn't much to show that ZAPU has been out of ZANU-PF for the last 12, 18 years or so. So this is what we need to do. I feel I have a role that I need to play as an administrator. I sent you my commitments, and if you look at my commitments, part of those things that we want to do, we want to verify members. How many members does ZAPU have? We need to know, so that we are able to check if the party is growing or not. For now, we are preparing for Congress. We are having a lot of problems in terms of verifying delegates, which is a sign that someone somewhere was not doing their job right, or they did not do enough. Not that I'm saying they were incompetent, but I'm saying we could have done more. And this is the more that I bring. And I want to bring this more and premising on the fact that I am young, I'm energetic, and I've served in administrative roles before. It's quite a bit that I wanted to do. One of the things that we must be able to do is that we must have a party that is easy to join.
Role Secretary General is an administrative role. Manje ngiyazibuza ukuthi kambe ungabe yiyo best suitable role for you, or kumbe wena ngendlela ofisa ukuthi ukhuphule ngayo izaphu bekuzomela maybe ufune ukuba organizing secretary na.
The biggest problem esilayo kuZAPU is an administrative problem. Once we have order, remember the office of the administrator of the SG, which is an administrative role, provides oversight. And I feel that what makes things go wrong is lack of oversight. I mean, you find the scenario where we have resolutions that are not implemented. We have portfolios that are not supervised. So I feel that is my role there. That is where I come in. And remember that the administration of a political party is not 100% the same as the administration of what you call of a company. Ulama similarities, but you need someone also with a political force, somebody who's able to bring a bit of political clout, because people don't want to be supervised by somebody who is a politician, somebody who knows what they're doing, somebody who has demonstrated, I mean, that they are relevant in the politics of our country. But basically, I feel I can contribute immensely in doing that, making sure that we have up-to-date databases, we have transparent systems, and things like that. So this is what I feel my role as the SG comes in.
Ngonyaka lwana okwashona khona ubaba uDabengwa ukuthi wethula ispeech esahizikhoda, kodwa ke ngaleso sikhathi abantu babezibuza umbuzo ukuthi lesizwa le kungani ngabuye ibe ngupresident wezaphu. Yikho ke umbuzo wami uthi kungani ukhethe ukuba ngu-SG instead of ukuthi ube ngu-president wezaphu.
It's a number of things. I must confess that had Congress been done in 2019, I wouldn't have contested, because I had to hope to play roles in the development of our country, not necessarily in politics. So, and also I'd hoped to have achieved a few other things, but unfortunately, COVID. One of the major roles, I felt I needed a lending a space where I can start to learn the processes, and so that I'm able to learn the part and lead the part. So I felt maybe as SG, that would be the best starting point to learn the ropes of how ZAPU has been run and how ZAPU should be run. And also, I unfortunately, because in 2023, I will not be 40. Remember, the constitution of the country says for somebody to contest to be the president of the country, they must be at least age 40. By 2023, I will not be 40, so I will not be eligible to stand and contest state presidents. So, and ZAPU does not have a provision that you can lead the party and not be a candidate for state president. So I felt, let me start where my age allows, and then I serve from there. And I want to, if they feel I have done well, what to call bangangi pagamisa, if I want to. But also I feel that there must be a proper transfer of mandate. A mandate ZAPU, it must be transferred to us, the young people, seen as Tateli. For the purpose of continuity, it was necessary to have somebody who's closely linked and connected to us, to our history, to our legacy, and to our heritage, to lead the party and facilitate a smooth transition from the Dabengwa Joshua Nkomo generation to our generation. And I felt if I came up now and led, I would not be convincing enough to the party in terms of what I want to call it, that this guy has been given the mandate. I could not take up the mandate. I believe that the mandate is transferred from one generation to another. So ZAPU now needs somebody who can transfer that mandate from the liberation generation to our generation.
Okay.
For the benefit of somebody who has not read your manifesto and who has not come across your commitments, could you please give us a breakdown of your commitments in a few minutes?
Let me quickly read through so that I don't spend too much time on that. One of the things that I want to do, remember I'm saying we because ZAPU we work as a team. I wouldn't start to, so I would say I or we because I'm assuming that will be understood, which will be working as a team. So what I intend to do is to maintain up-to-date records on membership and state of the party. I want to introduce an online membership management system, including electronic payment options to make it easy for anyone to join the party. I want to introduce an online centralized system for data capturing and storing member details. I want to assist all wings to comply, which is the key duty of the Secretary General, to assist wings to comply with Congress resolutions, and NEC resolutions. I also would pledge to supervise all portfolios on relevant issues and ensure that we have monthly reports from all portfolios, from provinces, from all wings that are meant to submit reports. I would also want to supervise provincial chairs by giving periodic state of the province reports so that we know the state of ZAPU in all our provinces. Also, my duty will be to supervise monthly meetings for all organs of the party. I would also intend to set up a regional office, an administrative office in Harare. This is because the seat of power is in Harare. This is because the embassy is in Harare. This is because the government is in Harare. So if we are going to function as a strong and relevant party, we must have a visible presence close to the seat of power, which is in Harare. So also after setting up the offices, it means both Bulawayo and the Harare offices must have full-time directors that are going to be working there, running the party on a day-to-day basis. And also, if funds permit, we want to have provincial offices because the party must be visible at provincial level. Remember, one of the hallmarks of ZAPU ideology is devolution. And devolution speaks of people being able to run their affairs within their provinces, within their districts. So we need to make sure that all provinces have an office of some sort so that they're able to coordinate their provincial affairs. I also need to create a system where we promote internal democracy, and we're also able to announce results for internal elections on time as soon as the voting is done. Whilst we were waiting for queries. One of the things that made this walk to Congress is that some results will stay for longer than anticipated before they are announced. And that on its own undermines the very principles of democracy that we stand by. So that is one thing that I will work hard to make sure that we have, to promote a healthy democratic discourse within the party. And also we intend to establish contact with countries that assisted ZAPU during the war so that we can get archival material, because one of the things that is lacking in Zimbabwe is ZAPU and ZIPRA history. So that will be an effort to make sure that we do that. And also I intend to strengthen contacts and build new relationships with other political parties across the globe that have a like mind as ZAPU. And also I'd want, because I said I'm an Nkomoist, one of the things that Comrade Joshua Nkomo did for us was to start companies for the party and make sure that we have resources. Even up to now, we're still talking about properties. One of the things that I think we must do, while we are demanding those properties back, nothing stops us from starting companies that are going to buy properties. So that is one of the things that I intend to advocate for rigorously and vigorously, that is a play corner live in a template from Joshua Nkomo, where we pull resources together and we form companies, we buy properties, and we grow the party. So this is one of the
manje ke sesothanda ukuthi sinikeze abalaleli nababukeli ithuba lokuthi bebuze imibuzo baba Hanana. Sizoqala ngomnumzana uMakbena. Ungabuza ba?
First act as a question.
Okay, you can answer Mr. Hanana. Then
the first thing that we must do before we do anything, we must do an audit or verification exercise of a membership as ZAPU. We need to know exactly how many people are ZAPU members, how many people are card-carrying members of ZAPU. That is the starting point, and there's no two ways about it. That's where we need to start. We need to know how many members we have. Expand, because if party ngabantu, we have no party without people. So for us to work on strategies of growing the party, kumele sibe kwazi ukuthi silabantu abangaki lokuthi bangaphi, so that we can then try and create a system.
Siyabonga. Baba Silundile, lingabuza ba?
Ngiyabonga baba Ankala. Ubaba Hanana uke wakhuluma ngama youth awazalwa ngemva kwempi, kwesikhathi sempi, abayibo abayinengi ye population yakithi eZimbabwe. Bengicela ukumbuza ke ukuthi what will he do to attract the youth to the party? Ngenxa yokuthi iparty kathesi igcwele kakhulu ngabantu abasebebadala mostly. So what plan does he have to attract the youth to the party?
Yeah, I think the starting point is what I've already done, to raise my hand and say, here I am young, I am available to lead. So should ZAPU decide to vote me in and I become the Secretary General, in essence, what you have said to any young person who's out there, you'll be saying ZAPU is a party that is youth friendly. It is a party that promotes young people with capacity. So I think before I do anything, the fact that and said, I am here, I'm willing to serve, because we can't complain. So I have led by example to say to young people, come on board. So for young people to come on board, ZAPU Congress must by all means make sure that they make history by voting the youngest possible Secretary General in all the major parties. And what that then does, it will begin to push an agenda. How do we push that agenda? We need to make sure that we articulate a ZAPU policy to make sure that young people understand that ZAPU is relevant to them. Kumele sinanzelele ukuthi first time voter ngumuntu wazalwa after round. So if you use round to campaign, akasoza kuzwisisa. The first time voter ngumuntu owazalwa vele iZimbabwe amagetsi ehamba, owazalwa amanzi ehamba, owazalwa vele ilizwe libola linje bitshontsho, abantu betshontsha. So to them, the political message eyokuthi izinto zinjani might not be relevant because it's normal. So we need to make sure that we have a message that speaks to young people, that says to young people there is a better Zimbabwe, that says this is not it, that says you can participate and develop your country the same way abadala bethu bakaZAPU did that. And abantu abatsha politics zabo is the politics of issue-based politics. Is more of activism than politics because they are demanding a result. One of the things that we will do is to make sure that we push for that issue-based activism. That is why also you see one of the things that I put in my manifesto is to make sure that we have a students movement, we have a presence in universities so that we push the ideology and the narrative. ZAPU is there to do these particular things for young people. So, but the starting point, ZAPU should show abantu abatsha that there is room, there is space for young people in ZAPU by voting for me to become most probably the youngest Secretary General in Zimbabwe. Yeah.
Good. Baba Hanana, uthe ngesikhathi uqala ukukhuluma lana wathi wena exile. Manje ke ngiyazibuza ukuthi uma ungathethwa ukuthi ube ngu-SG Secretary General of ZAPU uzobuyela yini ekhaya? Awesabi ama-risk ayiwo owabalekele na?
Forward of that manifesto, kulento that I strongly believe into engikholelwayo ukuthi you do not choose the revolution, the revolution chooses you. Besathi mina i-revolution awuyikhethi when say uba i-revolution uba part of the revolution, it chooses you. And of late I have been sensing a strong call so ngane lubizo, and if you are going to make a decision to lead, vele indlela to power idlule ejele, indlela to power idlula endaweni ezitshiyeneyo. I have committed that at Congress, once I am voted in, I will go back home and face the enemy head on. I believe in a leadership that leads from the front. I have come to a stage where I've said, if I die, I die. Remember, Konoati, efike empini ngalelo langa kwagonjwa wafa, and up to today they are not known, but Zimbabwe is a winner. Remember, many of our people, Bafa, build a temple lokuthi they are fixing the country. That thing, eyachisa oDabengwa ukuthi bayempini, eyachisa oJZ ukuthi bayempini bengabantu abatsha, ngibona ngani singifikele. And I am hoping ukuthi khona as we start for a fight for a better Zimbabwe, abantu bakithi bazasekela, abantu bakithi bazasupporta. If we perish, we perish. But interesting elayo khathesi, particularly kuZAPU, inkokheli that leads from the front. Sifuna umuntu okhokhela ohamba phambili. Asifuni a politician wamabhuku oyabe khuluma ama-theory abantu bedubeka. Sifuna umuntu who goes to the ground and faces the problems that our people face every single day. So I'm committed and I'm prepared to go back home.
Biyiguest yethu yanamhlanje Mr Mthulisi Hanana esinikeza i-rundown ye-journey yakhe yokufuna ukuba ngu-SG oweZAPU. Siyabonga kakhulu isikhathi sakhe ukuthi asivakashele namhlanje axoxisane lathi ngohambo lwakhe. Siyabonga kakhulu.
This is what I want to say. Siyabonga. Kulungile, ngiyabonga. Ngiyabonga lilale.
All right.